Hey yo, what is up? This is Oddball Frequency, your number one source for a waste of time and pizza and electronic music and gummy bears, because we have gummy bears today. I'm here with my co-host, Daniel.
Actually, they're Swedish fish.
And I am Danny Connors, and we're going to be playing some good electronic music tonight, talk about the music later. Have some Taylor Swift shenanigans that we're going to talk about. Going to discuss her recent affairs with Ticketmaster and her fans. That should be fun. Stick around. We're going to be here till 10 o'clock. Hope you enjoy the music. We're going to play Prefuse 73. Enjoy.
your door. Let me show you what you came here for. I will keep you coming back for more. Let me show you what I have in store. I will keep you coming back for more. 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 Back for more. More. Back for more.
Fix your accent.
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 Over the past few years, to the traditional sounds of an English summer, the drone of lawnmowers, the smack of leather on willow, has been added a new noise.
What were the skies like when you were young?
They went on forever. We lived in Arizona, and the skies always had little fluffy clouds in them, and they were long and clear, and there were lots of stars at night. And when it would rain, it would all turn. They were beautiful, the most beautiful skies, as a matter of fact. The sunsets were purple and red and yellow and on fire, and the clouds would catch the colors everywhere. That's neat, because I used to look at them all the time when I was little. You don't see that. Had little fluffy clouds in them, and they were long and clear, and there were lots of stars at night. And when it would rain, it would all turn. They were beautiful, the most beautiful skies, as a matter of fact. The sunsets were purple and red and yellow and on fire, and the clouds would catch the colors everywhere. That's neat, because I used to look at them all the time when I was little. You don't see that. You might still see it in the desert. fire and red and yellow, on fire, and the clouds would catch the clouds.
Hey now, what's up? It's Jose Mangan from Sirius XM, and you are listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Come on.
Hey WMSC listeners, this is entertainment correspondent Julia Siegel coming to you from the Montclair Film Festival where the closing night film Band-Aid is about to start. But first, I just talked to Band-Aid director, writer, producer, and star Zoe Lister-Jones about her directorial debut. Now, what's it like to be able to have full creative control as the writer, director, producer, and actor for Band-Aid?
Well, it's pretty awesome. It's really nice as an artist to be able to just pursue your vision singularly without too many other hands interfering. But I obviously had an amazing support system with my crew and producers and cast, so it takes a village.
Well, it definitely does. And speaking of the cast, it's an incredible cast and a wonderful ensemble. How did you make that happen?
Luckily most of them were my friends, so I asked personally if they would come hang out for a little bit and make a movie with me, and so luckily they all said yes. But yeah, I mean, there were a few people, like I didn't know Fred Armisen personally, so that was a call I made through through the proper channels, through his reps, and yeah, it was it all happened luckily quite effortlessly. Yeah.
Well, that's always good because it must make your job so much easier than you didn't have to fight anybody on it.
Totally.
But I think to say that you're a big fan of music might be a little bit of an understatement. So does Band-Aid have anything of your real life experiences with music?
Yeah, I was in a band in high school and college, and so I drew from that sort of. And then also I've been writing lyrics and collaborating with my friend Kyle Forster, who wrote the music with me for Band-Aid for many, many years since college. So it was definitely sort of the culmination of a lot of musical efforts that I had been leading up to Band-Aid.
That's good to hear. And last question for you. What's it like trying to balance a feature film and a TV show, Life in Pieces, at the same time?
Well, it's fun. I mean, it's a lot of work, but it's nice because I get to flex different muscles in both projects. So on Life in Pieces, I'm just an actress, although it's that's not an easy task. But with this, obviously, I get to wear a lot of hats, which is really fun.
Band-Aid opens in New York City and Los Angeles on June 2nd. For WMSC, this is Julia Siegel.
Looking for the real MSU Redhawks experience all year long? Look no further. WMSC has all your Redhawks information, ranging from live play-by-plays, news updates, recaps, and more. Never miss out on the Redhawks with 90.3 WMSC. Let's go, Redhawks!
Indie lovers of the world unite, because I am here to save the day. You can listen to my show, Indie-Rama, on Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., playing all types of indie genres. It's all you could ever want in a music show. So sit back, enjoy your time, and let me, Alex, do all the work here on WMSC.
And we're back. Welcome back to Oddball Frequency, number one source for a waste of time, electronic music, pizza, gummy bears, and this kid. How are you doing over there?
What?
Exactly. So, I gotta say how much of a panic attack I keep having whenever we go off air, because Daniel and I, the second we turn off the mics, we start screaming and, cursing and eating food and whatnot, and I, always have this, huge fear in the back of my mind, did I leave the mic on? And, I always look over every 30 seconds. I'm like, oh, thank God. Because that would have been bad. We're just, we're messes. Yeah.
Same.
Man, we got a lot of guests coming up. We're excited. Next week, look forward to Kodomo, who, thankfully, Daniel helped get on the show.
Boy.
Yeah. He, how'd it happen? You just shot him an email?
I just shot him an email, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Being like, hey, big fan, would you mind coming in?
And it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Kodomo coming on next week. The following week, it's a maybe from Pogo, electronic music producer. The following week, October 11th, Freeze Pop. Next week, Will Wood and the Tapeworms, although it's just Will Wood. And then from there onward, we're free from there. So we're going to try and see if we can get more guests or just do some solo shows like we've been doing since the beginning of the semester.
Yep.
Well, we found a certain topic to talk about. A specific Taylor Swift has been doing some naughty shenanigans over on Ticketmaster.
Which Taylor Swift?
Oh yeah,
I wonder.
Which Taylor Swift? Not the old one, because the new one says she's dead or whatever. She can't come to the phone. She can't come to WMSC right now.
Can't come to the radio WMSC in Montclair.
Something like that.
Because she's dead.
She's dead. Yeah, it's a fact, not opinion. So, basically, if you don't already know, Taylor Swift released a single, I don't know, maybe a little less than a month ago of her new it was a music video single, and it sounds completely not like any of her old stuff. It
sounds like everything she put out in the last year, though.
Yeah,
it sounds exactly the same as everything that's come out in the last year and a half she's put out. But
it's super mainstream and poppy, which I guess is fine, but it definitely disappointed a lot of Taylor Swift fans.
It's the exact progression you would have guessed if you had been following her.
Yeah,
it's super obvious, but yeah.
It's very she's trying to pull a Miley Cyrus, and it's not that impressive. But the main thing we wanted to talk about was her take on her tour tickets for her upcoming tour. So every single time Taylor Swift goes on tour, her tickets always sell out because there's bots, there's scalpers, there's just super diehard fans. There's just a lot of people who want to see her. She does have a huge fan base. But so she wanted to change that because she only wanted the quote-unquote real fans to watch. her shows and come to her shows. So she came up with this idea with Ticketmaster, and apparently she wasn't the first person to do this. I think Depeche Mode did this, but it wasn't as bad. Taylor Swift, this is like a new low. So basically, say only 1,000 people can go see her show, but there's 2,000 people that want to see her show. If you want to get thrown into that 1,000 pit of people who can see her show, you need to earn points.
And I wonder what you have to do. Do you have to like buy merchandise to get more points to be able to go?
No, Daniel, that's sellout. No one can do that.
Whoa!
Wait, it says right here. Hang on. Oh my God, that's the case. Yeah.
Whoa!
It's oh my God. So basically, in order to earn points and boost your place in line, you need to buy her album, tweet about her, do anything to promote her to gain specific points. And of course, the things that will get you more points are the things that involve spending money. Which, like, obviously, like, say, like, you tweet about her, that gives you 1 point, but buying her album gives you 50 points or 100 points. Yeah, like, so obviously, you know who's going to win. So you can buy her album 13 times a day, so I've heard, from 13 different sources, from all the main retailers and then iTunes and all that stuff. And you could do this 13 times a day, and that there are people out there who are rich enough to do this. They're just people who have that spare money. There are kids who have their parents' credit cards.
The $1 million babies.
Yeah, $1 million babies who have their parents' credit cards. They're just going to go nuts, and they're going to get first in line. And let me just add that this doesn't even get you the ticket. This gets you a chance to buy the ticket. This like, after all this money spending, you still don't have the ticket. You still have to buy it afterwards, which who knows how much that's going to be. Probably at least, I don't know, $100, my guess, at least. So she's going to make a lot of money off this, and she's going to win and laugh all the way to the bank, but it's still very disappointing. I don't know. Like, the thing about Taylor Swift is I never really liked her music at all, but I have a little cousin who's a diehard fan of hers. So, and she was like her role model. So I always liked that about her. It's like, okay, she's respectable at least. This kind of turns my head a little bit in the opposite direction. It's disappointing when you see artists kind of sell out like this. I try and think of other artists off the top of my head who have like gone this low, but no one really comes to mind. I don't know about you. It's really.
I mean, a lot of artists sell out.
No, yeah, but this is like a huge low. Like, I get it. You have to find a new system so that super fans, quote unquote, aka people with money, will be able to go see your show. Like, I'm sure, and she even made a YouTube video, an animated YouTube video of her narrating it, explaining the whole process, and she tries to make it sound as innocent and justifiable as possible, but it still sounds sleazy, even in her own video that she makes. Like, it came to the point in the video where she starts describing, here's how you get points. You could do it by buying my album. And I'm like, how can you say this with a straight face? And just like, man, like and it's not even that. It's also the fact that she sold out in the sense of this type of music that she's now making. It's super generic and super just lame mainstream pop. It's very disappointing. Luckily, our boys Daft Punk haven't done that yet.
Yeah, because they never go on tour.
Yeah, they can't even go on tour, so they can't even do this. So, checkmate.
Checkmate.
Yeah.
Proof that Daft Punk are the best, because they don't want to go on tour because they don't want to make us pay money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they know that people don't like spending money.
Yeah.
So let's just not ever go on tour.
Like this, if we cry every time.
Oh, okay. Spam call. So, do you follow My Bloody Valentine at all? Phil's band.
What?
Do you follow My Bloody Valentine? Well, quick music news for all you kiddies out there. If you like My Bloody Valentine, they're a very popular shoegaze band from the 80s onward. There's a very good chance that they're going to release a new album next year. Kevin Shields posted on his autobiography page saying a bunch of stuff he's planning out for the rest of this year and then next year. Basically, he's working on an all-analog remaster of Loveless, and their first album, which off the top of my head I don't remember. I think it's called Isn't Everything. I'm probably wrong.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, look it up, please, because I know I'm gonna get angry people.
Hey, DJ Shadow.
Yeah, DJ Shadow. Man, it would be cool getting this guy on. I'm gonna, like, if Pogo ever comes on, which it looks pretty good. I got his number and everything. We've been talking. I definitely want to talk with him about, like, man, why do Australians just make the best plunderphonics and sample-based music? Like,
I love DJ Shadow.
Yeah, DJ Shadow.
DJ Shadow, please come here, Daddy.
Yeah, let me turn it up a little bit.
He is the god of 90s.
You mean introducing is the god of 90s?
I mean, it's the best album of the 90s. Fact, not opinion. Like, actually.
What is it on your favorite albums list?
3 or 4.
Nothing else from the 90s is above that?
It's all 2000s.
Okay. I'm trying to think of other 90s albums.
My favorite album is from the 2010s.
Then
Then number 2 is 2010, and then the next one is 2013. So 2013, 2010, 2003.
Yeah, most of my favorite albums are from early 2000s.
It's 2013, 2003, 2010.
Yeah, most of my favorite albums are from 2000s onward.
This is just thinking right out of my head.
Yeah, totally.
I forget.
Thinking?
Thinking?
Thinking.
The first album was... Where is it? Isn't Anything.
Isn't Anything.
In
All right, so
1988. And then Loveless was in 1991. And then their next one was in 2013.
2013.
A whole 22 years later.
That's insane. Oh, news update from my sister. Isn't Anything. We beat you to it.
Beat you to it.
We beat you to it. News flash.
That's why you should be in New Jersey, not Oregon.
Yep. You're 3 hours behind. We beat you by 3 hours.
Wrecked.
Man. But yeah, this is definitely a great album. If this album just encapsulates nighttime driving or walking. It like the city at night.
It's just the best. Like, seriously, if you've never listened to DJ Shadow's introducing, change that.
Just like sit down in a chair and then pull out your computer, open it up, and then go to YouTube and then type in Introducing by DJ Shadow.
It's
and then
end and then introduce.
It's
like introducing, but instead of in, you just type end.
And this is the most important part. You're gonna click on that video, and then you're gonna put your headphones on and
then you're sit there for about an hour and 5 minutes. I think
this is the hardest part. You're gonna listen to it because the album sucks.
Yeah, it's the worst thing ever.
DJ Shadow, please come on the show. Please come on the show.
I need you in my life.
Like, yeah, going back to Pogo, I was going to bring up, why do Australians make the best sample-based plunderphonics music? There's DJ Shadow, The Avalanches, Wise Guys, Pogo. That's it off the top of my head. But still,
wow, so many.
Those are some legends, and you know how much I love The Avalanches. Like,
I don't like them.
Yeah, Dan...
Especially since I left you.
Dan likes
Bad albums.
Dan just likes to throw bricks at my head by just making fun of what I love. Who's Daniel?
Wrecked.
Daniel Tursich. So tomorrow we're gonna see a certain someone. We're gonna go see.
We're gonna go see Ringo Starr.
Yeah, I was just gonna make that joke, but I'm like, should I? No, yeah, we're seeing Paul McCartney tomorrow night at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. It's gonna be really fun. Yeah.
Yep.
It's super exciting.
And then next month we're gonna be seeing like 5 shows.
Yeah, I'm not ready. Next week I'm gonna go see the Lemon Twigs with, hang on, burp. With
Morty.
my girlfriend Morty.
My girlfriend Morty. Sorry, Grace, but you're out.
Sorry,
okay?
Grace, the cat's out of the bag. I'm
sorry,
dating
just
Morty.
just gotta tell you this
Rick and
right
Morty.
on air.
Yep. Exposed.
We're cutting you off. It's all about Morty.
It's all Morty. Low-key, Grace, I would dump you for Morty if Morty
Same.
existed.
If Rick existed,
Super
I would dump.
not low-key.
I would dump Danny for Rick any day.
I would not take it personally. Not at all. Yeah. You know, I think we're just going to let this song play out because you need to experience it with full volume. We'll catch you guys later.
But seriously, though, Midnight in a Perfect World
I'm
by
adding
DJ
that.
Shadow is one of the greatest tracks ever created.
Opinion, not fact.
No, literally fact. Like, if you don't
that
like...
an opinion I hear?
If you don't like that song,
Uh-oh.
I mean... Let's just be real.
Oh, no.
You just don't like 1996 DJ Shadow.
Uh-oh, I think that's a heavy opinion.
That's not an opinion. That is
what if I threw
F-A-C-T.
What if I threw another opinion at you and said the song sucks?
Then I'd be like, then why are you wearing a pizza hat? Exposed.
Because,
Exactly.
Oh no.
Checkmate.
He got me. We're gonna let the song play out. Enjoy.
sun, it goes on and on. The winter battle was won, the summer children were born, and so the story goes on and on. Come on, woman, and let be, slow, sweet bed with a husky, soaking feather where the fields are green, from here to eternity. Come on, woman, in your own time, far, far, far from the virgin vine, rise up now. break there were none, and as it broke there was one, and still the story goes on and on.
Hey, how's it going? What's up? This
Hi.
is Oddball Frequency.
Is it?
We're back at it again with the top of the hour.
And pizza.
Yes. It is top of the hour at WMSC. Upper Montclair. Dan, Yul, do you want to hit us with the news?
We got some really non-sad news today.
Cool.
That Mexico's earthquake death toll has
yeah.
climbed to 225 as of a few hours ago, and it's only going up.
Wow, that's a big jump. Yesterday I saw like only 5. And
Yeah.
of course, yeah, it's going to go up by a huge
'cause
amount.
fires and everything. Yeah,
Man,
good times. Good times. Yeah.
Man, my best friend went down there a few weeks ago, and I guess he came back like just at the right time. Lucky him. But I think he had an uncle who just flew down there, and like
Yikes.
literally the second he landed, the earthquake started. Like, not even lying. Like, it couldn't have happened when he was still in the air. No, it like the second he landed, like a few minutes after, then it began. Like, that's just wow. Yeah. As far as the weather goes, we're going to be seeing low 70s to high 60s for the rest of the night until tomorrow morning. It's going to be pretty much cloudy for the rest of the night, but after today, it's actually going to be pretty sunny until Wednesday, with weather looking at low 80s to high 70s. So it's about to get a little bit warmer and a lot sunnier. So that's really nice. So Daniel and I, we were going to talk about some albums that we've been getting into over the past year or so. Basically, we were going to share the 2 best albums that we have listened to over the past year or so. Now, granted, these don't have to be the best 2 albums of 2017
Yeah, like
that we've
mine is
listened
from
to.
like 20 years ago.
Both of mine, I actually believe, came out last year. I'm discovering a lot of really good albums that came out last year, and I'm really disappointed. But anyway, do you know your first one?
You're disappointed that you found new music?
No, I'm just saying, like, I wish I found it last year, like right when the music came out, and I
yeah.
could have like rode the hype with it, you know?
No, should I start off with the best or second best?
Go for it. Yeah, whatever. How about second best?
All right. Soon It Will Be Cold Enough by Emancipator. So that album came out, I think, back in like.
Wait a minute. Emancipator?
Yeah, Emancipator.
Dude, we might get him on the show.
Really?
No, I'm being dead serious. Today, my sister. Oh my God, yeah. But I was in.
Yeah, I know. I know your.
Let
your
me
sis-
completely.
No, I know your sister's really high quality ambient music taste.
No, let me. Well, yeah, she likes Bonobo. Let me
Yeah, I know.
completely cut off your story right
Wow,
now.
thanks.
Yeah, that was a good story, but you can finish it later. I'm in class earlier. Fuffy, if you're listening, thank you. Apparently, she and her husband are really good friends with him.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Well, yeah, they all live in Portland, Oregon, man. Everyone's friends in Portland, Oregon.
Everyone knows everyone.
Everyone's friends in Portland, Oregon. Here in Jersey, we don't know anyone.
I fucking love Emancipator.
Yeah, exactly. Emancipator is awesome. But I actually looked up some of his music, and it's hype. It's so hype. I was listening to which album? It's I could describe the cover, but I feel like it's gonna be all the covers are really similar. It kind of just looks like a city area with nature and whatnot.
Well, I mean the thing is, the Emancipator's Soon It Will Be Cold Enough is the one that's I mean all the albums like show off like mountains or like snow and whatnot, but like the one Soon It Will Be Cold Enough is it's one that just shows off snow. I mean, if you listen to the album, it's about like cold weather and stuff. It's really, really good.
This is what she said. Our manager at work is friends with Emancipator. We were going to ask if we could get an interview for the show. So I'd say it's like a, 25% chance that we can get him on. And obviously it would be a Skype interview because he is on tour,
awesome.
I think. But yeah, that's funny. I was actually I listened to him a little bit and I'm like, Dan would like this. And yeah, it looks like you're already a fan, Daniel. And you're already a fan and whatnot. So that's pretty cool. So
yeah,
I'm going to try a little bit harder. That's a little bit more motivating to get him on the show.
He's one of the people I tell you to listen to, and then you
don't. He's one of those guys where like Daniel will send me a link to his album on YouTube, and I'll just see the link and I'll just like it and like go away and do something else.
Shaking my hat. Well, going back to what I was saying.
Yeah, continue.
Soon It Will Be Cold Enough by Emancipator is one of the greatest ambient albums ever made.
Is that a fact or an opinion?
I think anyone that listens to ambient music would probably agree. It's just such a solid album. It's very out there and it's very like soothing, of course. But I don't know. Just there's something about it. Like every track on it is just like basically perfect. I mean, like whenever like when I'm deciding on Pandora, like before, because I don't really listen to albums that much. I usually listen to like the tracks singularly, a lot of them, and then when I realize, this one artist, I listen to a lot of their tracks and I really like it. Maybe I should go listen to some of their albums, and then I'll go, oh, wow. Every single song on this album is perfect. Oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever.
Why is it taking this long for me to find this?
But like,
that. That's the worst
so
feeling.
soon it will be cold enough. I mean, really, I only listened to the full album because I've been listening to the tracks singularly on Pandora and like other things for like at least 3 or 4 years now. Like all the time, like they just pop up, or like I'm on YouTube and it's like in one of my playlists. But like first time I decided, because I'm my internship this summer, I was like, I've been to be sitting at a computer for 8 hours. I guess I can.
I wonder what I can do. No, that's what I did with my internship too. I just listened to a bunch of podcasts and albums.
Like when I'm in my dorm room, I like to like watch YouTube videos and everything. So I don't usually want to spend like a whole hour like listening to an album all the time. I mean, sometimes I do, but like it's mostly just like, I'll throw on some songs and then I'll go watch a YouTube video, then I'll go watch some Netflix or whatever. But like I'm just sitting at work, so I mean, like, all right, I have all this time, so I was like, okay, I'll listen to all these artists. I really like their stuff. And then,
Waterball.
Seriously, Soon It Will Be Cold Enough by Emancipator. It's just so good.
When did you find it out?
I mean, I've been listening, again, the music for like a long time. But the album I hadn't listened to until like June.
Oh, I see what you mean. All right, so that's cool. I'm guessing you like put it on your list and everything.
Yeah.
It's got to be somewhere out there.
The 7.
All right. Well, I'll say my second favorite over the past year. It's Koi Child by Koi Child. Yeah, it's their self-titled album. It's their first album. Came out last year. It's a hip-hop jazz album, and it's so good. It's so relaxing. I love the album cover. I love the vibe of it. I discovered it maybe about a month ago, and I don't get why it's not that big. Like, I listened to it, and it's so new and different, and I could just be, like, not cultured with hip-hop that much. Like, there could be a lot of albums and artists that sound just like this, but from my experience, I haven't found anything like it so far, and it's really nice. Is
that a statement? There's no music that's even close to it?
Yeah,
it
nowhere
is better
in the
than
universe.
anything that's ever existed.
This is the greatest album of all time.
Fact, not opinion.
You heard it here. Oddball Frequency, 2018.
2023.
23. It's year 3.
Half-Life 3.
Half-Life 3. Uh-oh. Oh, no. You heard it here. Wait, is that Gaben? Ah!
Just hear a knock at the door.
You're banging at the door. You don't hear knocking.
You don't even hear the banging. The door just breaks down.
You just see an axe come through.
And then you hear, here's Johnny.
Here's Gaben.
Here's Gaben.
Oh, is that music I hear? Ooh. Oh, that's nice.
That doesn't sound like music. It sounds like a glitch.
Is that music I hear? Here, we're going to put on Mr. Scruff. But yeah, my only somewhat complaint about the album is a lot of the tracks sound very similar. Besides the intro and some instrumental tracks, they're all, I don't know, I'm still having a hard time depicting a lot of the songs one from the other, besides a few. Like, my favorite song on the album was 159. It's so fresh and so soothing. Like, there's a rhythm in it that's so, like, I keep saying so, I gotta stop doing that. It's so...
so.
I love it. It's really nice. So, do you want to describe your favorite album?
DJ Shadow's Introducing.
You discovered that over the last year?
First time I listened to the album.
When was that? It was like last semester, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I told you I don't really listen to albums.
I know.
I do tracks.
I'm just talking about stuff I just forgot that you listened to it this year. That's what I'm saying.
I do tracks and EPs more often, honestly. EPs just because it's usually like 2 or 3 tracks.
EPs are nice.
3 to because it's usually like less than 20 minutes, so you can just throw it on. Whereas like a full album, it's like 40, 50 minutes. Usually I don't want to like. It's just easier. I just like to listen to singular tracks because there's much more really good tracks than there are really good albums. I mean, that's just how it is. If you have one track, it's easier to make one track amazing versus making a whole 10 back-to-back tracks amazing.
I agree with that.
That's why I always
it's just a personal thing. I just like listening to albums.
When you listen to a bunch of tracks from an artist and they're all good, like I listened to like I don't know, in 2014, I heard a bunch of Bonobo and I'm like, wow, Bonobo's really good. Maybe I should go check out all of his albums, and I'm like, wow, that was, oh my god, everything he's ever made is just almost gold.
He put on a good show.
Yeah, Bonobo's show was by far the best.
No,
It
yeah.
was amazing.
I agree with you. Like, you're always going to find, like, specific tracks. Like, just listening to specific tracks it's always going to be, like, the best way to listen to music. I personally just like listening to albums. Like, that's just what I've gotten used to after working at my job, and specifically for the fact that my car doesn't have an aux cord, so I have to still listen to CDs all the time, and that's just what I've grown up with.
He has that awkward stage in cars where there's no longer tape decks, but there's not aux cords.
Yeah, there's
yet.
not even tape decks. It's just CD players and radio.
That's the funny thing, is that cars are like really like it feels like you're in like a more like backwards time when you get in a car that's only CDs, because at least when you have a tape deck car, you're like, okay, this car is old, but you can just shove in the tape deck to aux cord, so it feels like it's just normal.
Mhm.
But like, so I mean, it's just that awkward time where like you just couldn't have aux.
Yeah,
it kind of sucks.
We're evolving. Let's take stuff out and not add anything.
The tape deck is like great because
Tape
those
deck
things
is
are like
pretty cool.
$7.
Although unfortunately mine didn't work in the white car.
You have to, you can't buy a cheap one.
This was like $10.
Really?
Yeah. It just didn't work. It just made static.
Maybe you can like try one of mine.
Yeah, I'll try it, see if it works.
Anthony.
Yeah, apparently Anthony's works. We got to see it. But anyway.
Mine works perfectly. It's great.
How much was yours off Amazon?
It was $8 on Amazon.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and it works like perfectly.
Hmm.
I have a friend who bought one for $3. It broke the next day.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
next
come on.
day.
I mean, yeah. But man, oh man. This is Chicken in a Box by Mr. Scruff. This is a pretty good album. I think the name of the album is Miss Cruff by Mr. Scruff. It's a good album. But yeah, I don't know. Personally, I've gotten used to listening to albums in full, and I find it to be just more immersive. And I like it when there's an album that can tell a story, and it's basically just adapting a movie medium into an album. That's why I like. It's harder to listen to an album when it's just singles throughout the entire time. There's no concept. There's no coherency through it. There's no flow between the songs, and I love it when albums do that. And that's related to my number one pick. But oh wait, no, you already talked about DJ Shadow, which is a good album.
I just mentioned.
I know, yeah, which is a good example because those songs flow into one another. It sets this atmosphere for the entire time. It really never loses its touch throughout the entire album.
We're broadcasting on 1099.
Yeah, exactly. Guess who's coming? Guess who's coming?
Guess who's coming? Guess who's coming? DJ
Just
Shadow.
your favorite DJ.
Just your favorite DJ Savior.
DJ Savior.
DJ Shadow.
DJ
Or when
Shadow.
it starts up, Bob Wood, national director
I
of the
love that
Chum
intro.
Group, and producing.
I'm not like a diehard fan of introducing. I love it. Channeling.
It's okay to be wrong.
It's okay to be right.
It's okay to be absolutely
It's
wrong.
okay to be normal.
It's okay that your two best Phil and Daniel friends disagree with what you just said.
Yeah, but you guys, you guys both like Hotline Miami.
Hey, it's okay that you're bad at video games, my dude.
Bruh. What was I gonna
2,000
say?
hours in League of Legends and you aren't even playing Quake 2?
I don't even know. But basically, my favorite album that I listened to over the past year was Nonagon Infinity by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. King Gizzard is a psych rock indie band in a way. They make really cool prog psych music, if that means anything. Think of Rush and Iron Maiden and then put them together, and you have King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Granted, most of their albums I don't think are masterpieces. I think they've only made like 2 albums, which I consider to be really, really good. And what's good about them is they always try to make albums that they prefer you to listen to them in full, because specifically Nonagon Infinity is interesting because it is an infinite looping album. That's not the first time that's been done before. You know, Jay Dilla did it in his Donuts album. I'm pretty sure Coheed and Cambria did that with one of their albums. But it's just a really cool concept because when you start the album, you wouldn't even guess. And when you finish the album, you start to hear the first track start to come in. But totally besides that, every single song flows into one another. There's never a break. There's never a point where they take a breath. Each song it's so tight and like hard hitting throughout the entire recording of it, and I have to give them a lot of credit. This was a really good performance. It's just this loud, fast, heavy rock music.
I was gonna say, what genre is it? Because you didn't really.
Well, I was saying like psych rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like fast psych rock, which, like, I don't hear a lot of. I love psych music, but usually it's slow and drainy, which is fine. But it's just a nice change. And I remember listening to it the first time. I was driving to my girlfriend's house, and I was just, okay. So I found out about the band when I went to a bar one night, and one of the bartenders and I were talking about music, and he just brings up, "Hey man, you should check out King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. They're a sick band. They've really been getting cool. I saw them at this festival. It was rad, man." And I'm like, that's like one of the coolest band names I've ever heard. And I wrote it down and I put it in my wallet to remember. And like, I don't know, 4 months went by, and like,
wow, very timely.
I'm desperate trying to find new music, and I like find the note, and I'm like, oh yeah, all right. Well, I hear this band get talked about a lot in this one music page that I'm in on Facebook, and people usually talk about Nodding on Infinity, so why not? Let's throw it on. And literally, like, the first track hooked me in right off the bat. It's just this loud, heavy-hitting, in-your-face song, and most of the songs are, but this, like, it's called Robot Stop, and it's personally one of my favorites on the album, mainly just because of the memory I had of listening to it for the first time. I hate it when there's, like, a really good album or a really good movie that you wish you could just listen to for the first time, but I guess that's just life in general. We're going to play Phaser Kids in the Windy City by Gerling. But yeah, Nonagon, slightly underrated, slightly overrated. I think it's in a good spot with Reputation. It's deemed as the band's best album, and I totally agree with that. Second place, I don't know, maybe I'm in your mind, Fuzz. It's the same thing, except a little bit lighter, and a little bit more of what you'd expect from psychedelic music. It's 60s influenced. It's very slow at some points, but it works. And then the band loves making concept albums, and pretty much only concept albums after their third record. And I'm very proud of them. I'm glad that they're getting big. I'm glad that they're getting rep. It's not easy for a rock band, and I mean a rock band nowadays, to get ahead. Yeah. Unless you're already commercially
unless
ahead.
You're already like Phoenix or Muse.
Yeah, or like Foo Fighters or something like that. It's hard to get your feet off the ground.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, the Chili Peppers.
Like if you were,
that's the thing. You're already big.
If you didn't exist in early 2000s or earlier, it's kind of hard.
Exactly. It's disappointing. But yeah, that's my favorite album that I've heard over the past year. I recently discovered Peng. It's hard to say that word. Peng by Stereolab, which I get, you know Stereolab, right? Yeah. I've always known about them, and my sisters talked about them a lot, but they've always just been one of those bands where I just keep telling myself, I'll get into it someday. And recently I finally decided to start with their first album, Peng. P-E-N-G, yeah, with an exclamation point at the end.
18-minute song, though. It's so good.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, no, that's not off the first album. That's off their third album, I think. Or second album.
Same thing.
I forget the name. I listened to their first 3 albums, all very good, but I still think their first album is just the most consistent. Because the thing about the second album is it has some of my favorite songs by them, and then some of my just most whatever songs. And same thing with the third album. So I feel like I'm going to get that feel for the rest of their discography. I heard Dots and Loops is pretty good. I'll get into that. My favorite song is Fluorescences, which unfortunately is a single, so I wish I could get that in an actual album, because if I could get a whole album that sounds just like that, instant favorite. Yeah.
Also, if anyone's looking for a new artist, look up Roosevelt.
Roosevelt? Who's that?
He's a new musician. I think he started last year, so yeah.
That's cool.
A lot of really good stuff.
Yeah, you were talking about EPs earlier.
Yeah.
Ever since we confirmed that we're going to get Kodomo on the show. By the way, I'm sorry that I keep calling him Komodo, because that just comes out so naturally. Kodomo is his name.
Kodomo.
Yeah, K-O-D-O.
M-O.
M-O. Mo. And he's really cool. What is that? That's not ambient music. What genre would that be?
It's ambient.
It is ambient?
It's mainly ambient. Ambient, trip hop, and
trip hop. That's a better word.
Well, I mean, trip hop is part of ambient.
Sometimes. Because you can have like heavier trip hop music like the Avalanches or Glitch Mob or stuff like that.
I would not put Avalanches and trip hop in most of the points. Though parts of Electricity and some of Since I Left You dabbles into ambient.
Definitely their first album,
but
their second.
The Frontier Psychiatrist is nothing like.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying all of their music. I'm just saying Avalanche is kind of their medium comes from trip hop. That's what their Wikipedia page says. As far as I'm aware.
Ambient music is like trip hop is part of ambient music.
Yeah,
Ambient is like saying you like metal. I mean, it's a really broad term.
Yeah, I like rock music.
But like a lot of people don't really listen to ambient, so I mean it's a good like catch-all. But like if I'm being specific, I'm really into trip hop and down tempo.
I like alternative.
I like alternative. Alternative what?
Alternative. I like music.
I like sound.
I like electronic music. Oh, EDM. No, we already went over that. You missed our first episode, kids.
Alternative ambient, alternative rock, alternative metal,
post-core ambient, alternative,
postmodern, post-rock,
experimental, hip-hop,
music,
death grips,
post-sound, post-death grips, post-radio music. It's my favorite kind.
Music arena. Yeah. Well, anything else you want to throw in? I'll play some more music. If not,
ambient music is great.
Yeah, it's debatable. All right, going back to some Deadmau5. Enjoy.
Yeah, where do you have some drugs in that? It's uncool to nod on a street corner waiting for the light to change. And it's uncool to let anybody know your uncle is a registered pharmacist. It's uncool for the whole family. You know, it's uncool to buddy with a known fink. It's uncool to ask where'd you get it. It's disastrously uncool to let friends use your pad as a forwarding address for packages from Mexico. You know, and it's uncool to ask where'd you get it. And it is uncool to wear shades after sunset.
Hey, we're To the Skyline, and you're listening to 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair, New Jersey.
Allez, Coco.
WMSC would like to welcome students new and old to MSU. We are pointing out some of the services and rules on campus to help everyone endure the first weeks of college. Montclair State offers an addiction recovery program for students suffering from drug, alcohol, or any other form of addiction. A joint effort between counseling and psychological services, health promotions, and residence life to help provide students with a healthy, substance-free living situation and allow a comprehensive approach for all students on campus to understand the processes of recovery and addiction avoidance. For more information, visit montclair.edu/student-services/recovery and addiction prevention services.
Hey WMSC listeners, this is entertainment correspondent Julia Siegel coming to you from the Montclair Film Festival. Today I'm sitting down with director Oren Moverman to discuss his new film, The Dinner. So you've been pretty busy lately with a couple movies. You produced both The Ticket and Norman, and now you're directing The Dinner. So how are you balancing your time with so many projects right now?
I'm completely off balance. I'm not balancing it. No, I've been very lucky. I've started producing a couple of years ago and got involved in projects basically that were directed by friends, and so I get to work with my friends. So I sort of spread myself thin, but it's with great rewards as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, definitely. And I saw that this film actually did premiere at the Tribeca Film Festival a few days ago. Yeah. How did that go? How was the audience reception?
It was great, actually. Yeah, it was. It was our second time we showed it in that kind of event. We world premiered in Berlin and then brought it here and showed it in Tribeca, and people were really getting it. I would say between us and whoever's listening, a little bit more than Berlin. There's humor in it that the audience was really getting into, and then it gets pretty serious and dark, and it's kind of a ride. It's a ride you can resist and kind of be suffering through, or it's a ride that you can accept and go through something I think quite unusual but interesting, based on a very kind of intriguing book.
That's good. And what do you think the audience today here in Montclair is going to take out of this film?
I'm not sure. It's really, I've been to Montclair before. We've had good audiences. This is a very provocative film. So when you do something provocative, you can expect some people to be very angry and some people to be very happy and anything in between. So I have no expectations. As long as they don't try to physically hurt me, I'll be okay.
And if you could describe The Dinner in your own words to someone who has no idea what it's about, how would you describe it?
I would say it's a movie that takes place in a restaurant, an absurd restaurant. Two brothers, played by Richard Gere and Steve Coogan, are getting together with their wives to talk about something their sons did, their teenage sons did, a crime they committed and got away with. And then the big dilemma is, what do you do about it? Do you turn them in? Do you ignore it? Do you pretend it never happened? So it's kind of a long argument that takes a while to get going, but it's also showing the night of the incident, what the boys did. It's also showing family history. So it's quite a layered movie, and it's an assault on the senses in a way.
It sounds great. I can't wait to see it in a little bit. And after this, what's next?
Not sure. Producing some more, writing. Hopefully there won't be a writer's strike, so maybe a new movie to direct in a couple of months.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
The Dinner hits theaters on May 5th. For WMSC, this is Julia Siegel.
Hello, unfortunate victims. Oddball frequency has arrived. Wednesday nights from 7 to 10 p.m. Turn off your radios right now, or face the consequences.
This is Oddball Frequency, your number one source for a waste of time and electronic music. It is top of the hour at WMSC Upper Montclair. We're going to throw the news at you from Daniel.
Paul Manafort, the former campaign manager for Trump, apparently offered to provide private briefings to the Russians in 2016. So, yeah.
And as far as the weather goes, we're still going to be seeing cloudy weather up until tomorrow morning with low 70s to high 60s if it ever gets that low. But this is going to be the last cloudy/drizzly day for a little bit, fortunately. We're going to see some sunny weather up until all the way to next Wednesday. So we're going to get a full week of sun and low 80s weather. We're going to let Cowgirl by Underworld play and then have a little discussion for you. Enjoy. And we're back. How's it going? This is Oddball Frequency. I'm Danny Connors, and I'm here with my co-host,
Electronic music.
Daniel. Sadly, no pizza today, but...
There's a pizza on your hat.
There's a pizza on my hat, yes, but everyone can see that. So why would you even say that?
I mean, yeah, of course. I'm sorry.
Everyone.
I'm sorry for...
sorry, everyone.
I'm sorry for thinking everyone was, unobservant.
Thinking our audience is dumb.
Wow.
Please. Well, we were going to talk about streaming versus purchasing music and the difference that artists are getting paid as the years go on in the music industry. So mainly we wanted to first talk about purchasing music, which arguably, they get a much greater amount of money than they would receive if you listen to the album just by streaming it, like a much greater amount. Like I think if you purchase... Huh?
I mean, because like if you just listen to the songs and it's like not even a cent, whereas like... Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if you buy an album on iTunes, you've given that artist like $1, something like that, you know?
Yeah.
They get about 11 cents per song that you purchase. Which is, like... If you want to give an artist $1 off streaming, you'd need to listen to it hundreds, if not thousands of times. But you can use a collective amount of people to pay that person through streaming, which in the long run will probably pay them more. But it's hard to say. So, say you buy a record, and that's like $25. You've probably given that artist maybe $3, I'd say. Not bad, but that's just one time for the rest of their lives. So with streaming and YouTube that Daniel was talking about, you could keep paying them over a gross amount of time, but it needs to be a collective force. If you're the only one listening to these people, they're not going to get anything. I was doing a little...
Because on Spotify, it's... For every song listen you get, the artist gets 0.0011 cent.
Yeah. Well, it does depend if you're a paid or free listener. I think a free listener, it's
this
like
is
a third of that.
This is an average.
Really?
This is the average, yeah.
Okay.
0.0011 cent. And then if you're on YouTube, it's 0.0003 cents.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's like however, then there's like Google Play Music or whatever, which you get 0.007.
That's pretty all right. Not bad.
Which is like 7 times more, which is crazy.
And then you get Tidal, which pays a lot.
0.007.
Do you have the article up right now, or the graph?
I have the graph open.
All right, cool. Yeah. What's the top paying one?
Google Play.
Google Play. Yeah, that's right.
Oh wait. Yeah. Google Play, and then Tidal, then.
Let me bring that article up.
Beats. Then Rhapsody, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. Pandora is like between Spotify and YouTube.
What's the name of that graph? I'm gonna look it up right now.
If you just type in money artists get from X from whatever, then it just pops up.
All right, I found actually a graph that says specifically all the platforms, and it looks like surprisingly. Hang on, let me check this out. No, it's saying the radio is paying them the most, but that can't be. Video streaming is like second. That makes sense. Hang on 1 second.
Yeah, so I mean, like just streaming, of course, when you stream. Yeah, I mean, it's good because a lot of people listen to it at once, but and also, I mean, it's the only way that the music industry has to adapt, because I mean, it's just way more convenient and also that's just the way it is nowadays. I mean, it's not like everyone's just gonna collectively stop streaming music and then just buy it all. That's not a reality.
That's only in the reality of like.
So I mean,
collectors and hardcore fans.
So that's why nowadays artists, instead of relying solely on revenue from things like streaming or like even purchases, they rely far more on getting like deals for like being in an ad or like a movie or whatever, and then also going on tour.
Going on tour,
because like going on tour, the tickets, like besides the service fees, almost all that money like goes to the whatever artist.
Yeah.
Just like if you go to like just a single like venue and it's like you pay $35 to see like let's say Deadmau5, then like most of that money goes to Deadmau5, and then some of the money goes to like his opener, and then like
his
whatever.
crew and his staff.
Yeah,
and
so I
his
mean that's what I'm saying.
manager, stuff
Yeah,
like
well,
that.
that's what you mean.
The people who need
that's
it.
Deadmau5. I mean, when you think of Deadmau5, it's not just him. It's
I know.
every single because you got to think like most artists. It's not just one person. It's
The people who
all
actually
the
make his
people.
music popular are getting the music, which is good. And if there's one thing I can say, whenever you go to a show, please buy something for the merch table. It really helps, especially if it's like a small venue.
They don't have to pay. They don't have to pay shipping
No
or
shipping.
anything.
You
It's just,
get it right away.
You just can give it right there.
And
So, I mean-
sometimes you can get it cheaper than off their website or something like that.
So I mean, if
You can
you're
get it
looking for
signed.
if you're looking for vinyl and you know that you're going to go see a show soon, often they'll have the vinyl there or like a T-shirt. So I mean, if you want a T-shirt from whoever like Bonobo, then go get a T-shirt there.
Exactly. And we're going to see Paul McCartney tomorrow, and I'm going to try and get a T-shirt because I really want one.
Who's Paul McCartney? Isn't
I
that
don't
the
know.
guy from the Rolling Stones?
I think he's some kind of bug.
Oh.
I don't even know. But yeah, I actually brought up a popularity chart of all the users who use streaming services. Now, obviously, Spotify is number 1 with 30 million users. Apple Music is number 2.
Wait,
with
what is this
11.
for?
This is a list of the amount of people that use these streaming services.
There's 140 million people on Spotify.
Really?
And then there's
This has to be outdated.
Then there's
it's from 2016, but still, that's a big jump. That can't be.
No, that's probably not what you probably
Yeah.
think it is. No, there's like 140 million that use Spotify. Then there's 82 million that use Pandora. But Pandora is only in the U.S., whereas Spotify is like global, so like it's a little misleading. But
let me correct myself. This is paid subscribers.
Oh, this is paid
subscribers.
Paid subscribers
My
is
bad.
completely different.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
So 30 million on Spotify, 11 million on Apple Music. Pandora has 3.9 million. Rhapsody has 3.5.
There's a new article out saying that by 2018, Pandora will have 20 million paid subscribers. I don't remember what that was about, but yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
This is only saying like 4 million.
Yeah, but
Jeez.
that's what they were saying. Because either way, I mean,
Step
but
up
yeah,
their
like
game, I
right,
guess.
Right now, Pandora has 81 million currently. I think I'm pretty sure Spotify has 140 million. But the thing is, that's because actually Pandora used to be in the U.S., New Zealand, and Australia, but they recently got rid of both of those, so now it's only in the U.S. So I mean, it's actually insane because
Pandora really?
Pandora's only in the U.S. but has 81 million. So I'm actually I'm based off of that.
For just U.S., that's pretty
just
good.
the U.S. That's
probably really good.
I'm pretty sure that means it's bigger than Pandora. I mean, bigger than Spotify in the U.S.
Pretty much.
But Spotify is
worldwide, so it's automatically going to win.
Actually, I'm gonna look that up right now if we can see.
Tidal
Spotify
has 3 million, and Deezer, I never even heard of that, has another 3 million. I'm surprised I haven't heard of that. I myself am a Spotify subscriber. I like it a lot, but that's mainly because I have a student deal. I'm pretty sure most of these streaming services are just as good as the other. It mainly just depends on what artists are supporting it and what artists
I mean,
aren't.
a lot of them are the same, but then there's like Pandora, which is completely different to the rest.
Yeah, Pandora's mainly a playlist and radio station. If I'm
it's
correct.
radio.
Yeah,
It's internet radio. It's
Exactly.
It's been around since way before.
It's been
Spotify.
around for a long time.
Like I'm pretty sure it was like 1999 or 2000. It's been going for a very long time.
Yeah. Going back to talking about shows, one thing that's changed dramatically is decades ago, artists would go on tour to promote their album.
Yeah.
Now it's the other way around.
It's exact because like back in the day, like the Beatles, they would make most of their money off of like they sold over 1 billion different records.
Yeah, they didn't need to go on tour.
Yeah, like
and
the record, like when they go on tour, it's like because then they would have the people there have stacks and stacks of vinyl and be like, yeah, you guys should go buy our because like back
It's
then,
the
of
only
course,
way to listen
I
to
mean,
it.
because like there wasn't MP3 players in this.
There was no Pirate Bay.
There wasn't even Walkman until like the late 80s or whatever. So I mean, like before the 80s, if you want to listen to music, you had to get the vinyl. So I mean, they would go on tour, and then they'd get people to buy all their music, and that would get them like all the money. But nowadays, the artists, like, yeah, some people still buy music, but they don't have to. They can
don't
do
have to,
streaming,
no.
which so they get some money from streaming. So it's always, but so then they go on tour to promote themselves to get bigger and get more people listening, but also so that they get the ticket sales.
And unfortunately, buying music has become the major inconvenience of supporting your
Or
artist.
if you want to buy physical, if you want to buy digital, it's super easy.
True. No. Yeah. I'm saying price wise.
Yeah. But also, I mean, if if you don't want to get a physical version of an album, but you still want to support the artist, just go digital. If they have a Bandcamp, go to their Bandcamp. Don't go to Apple Music. Don't go to Google Play. Don't go to Amazon.
Bandcamp,
go to Bandcamp.
All right to them.
If you can see them on Bandcamp, give the money on Bandcamp.
Yeah, definitely.
Like that. Just please, thank you.
Yeah, that's that's another huge way to support your local artists or any artist in general. And it's cool how some big name brand artists still use Bandcamp. Like I'm pretty sure Childish Gambino and Chance the Rapper still use it. And I think that's how Chance started out. He started out on Bandcamp.
He started out on SoundCloud.
Was it SoundCloud?
He's a SoundCloud rapper.
Oh, cool.
That's where the whole thing comes from.
Most of his music is free. If they're almost all mixtapes. So props to him. What was I gonna say? Yeah, we were talking about shows and how mainly like, unfortunately, it's caused ticket prices to rise up dramatically. And again, another thing we wanted to talk about was service fees. Service fees are getting pretty crazy.
Oh, how about those?
Yeah, I remember we went to see Deadmau5, and I love the show. Yeah, this has nothing to do with the show, but the service fee price was
I'll look that up right now.
Outrageous, yeah. I think it was Deadmau5. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty confident that it was his. The ticket price, the service fee was like a quarter of what we paid for the ticket, which ended up making it like, oh my god, some outrageous number. You're looking it up now?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, it might be under my email, but it's
oh yeah, you got it.
Yeah, it was under Eventbrite. But I gotta double check.
Yeah, if you
my laptop's all the way over there.
Yeah, well,
either way, it doesn't matter who it was.
$20 per ticket for the service fee.
$20 of service fee per ticket.
Like,
yeah,
a service fee, like nothing to do with the artist, and it's just to the.
Yeah, like I guess I'd understand if they had to ship the ticket to you, but that's still that's like $5 at most.
But also sometimes. There's one which they charged you $1 to print it at home.
Yeah, like
charging me to print it at home.
Like, come on.
And also, it's surprising that any of these don't just just let you do it on your phone. Like most do, but there are some that still you have to print a ticket.
You wish that was the case because that's the easiest way of doing it.
Most of them do, but for some reason, still some just say no. You have to print out a ticket. It's I just don't understand.
It's pretty annoying. Yeah.
I mean, because if we hadn't paid any service fees. We could probably go to another 3 shows for free right now.
No, yeah, totally.
3 or 4 extra
I've had to cancel a bunch of tours for the next few months because of money alone.
Yeah.
We almost went to see Boys Noise, who we played before, but I just couldn't. Ticket prices just killing me.
We're definitely gonna go to see them next time they come around. But we're already going to 5, and it's just these service fees are just ridiculous nowadays.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It's crazy, man.
And there's no transparency of where that money goes, and it seems like it's just going randomly into someone's pocket for no reason.
You know for almost a fact that it's just going straight into the Ticketmaster pockets. Luckily, though, I think there's a lot of laws finally stomping down on them, and they're gonna make them reduce their ticket prices. Well, not their ticket prices, but their service fees by a dramatic amount. Hopefully, we'll see that take place within the next year or so. So that's good.
Also, again, if you want to support your artist. Go to their shows.
Go to their shows and buy merch. Most importantly.
Go with your friends, buy tickets, and then buy a t-shirt.
And then if you want to support the venue, drink some beer. We're not going to blame you there. Trust me. Also, beer prices, food prices at shows, that's also pretty crazy. But
that's why you don't drink.
That's why you don't drink.
Save a lot of money.
Well, I'm talking about food.
Yeah, no, I know.
Even soda and whatnot.
You spent $6. I remember at Justice, that guy...
Was it Justice? Well, no, he bought me a drink.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That there was this French guy who we
Will
happened upon.
Oh, yeah. Should we tell about that?
Let's
Should we talk about that?
Let's talk about this story about
oh my
Will.
God.
Will the French
Will
man.
the legend.
Will the French.
All right, so we this was
December 30th, 2016.
December 30th of 2016. We went to go see Justice at Pier 94.
Pier 94. Well, no.
Pier something.
In
New York City.
It was the big venue. I think it's Pier 94.
Yeah.
But so it was sadly not on New Year's Day.
No, yeah, they did that the year before. Upset. And I don't know why they didn't do that. I guess they just wanted to celebrate New Year's Eve, with themselves, Justice or something like that. But anyway, so we're waiting outside. and it's cold, and we're like we just want to just chill.
Yeah, because we
literally.
wanted to be in the front, so we got there like, what was it, 45 minutes?
2 hours early, I think.
We were in. We got there
we got in
hours.
line.
We got in line about like an hour.
Yeah,
early.
we entered the place around 45 minutes to an hour before the show started, before the opening.
Oh
act.
yeah, no. Yeah, I'm saying we were in line like an hour before the doors opened, and then the show didn't even start until.
And we were pretty close to the front. There was maybe only like 20 people ahead of us.
No, there was no one in front of us.
Really?
Oh, you mean in line?
In line to
in
get
line,
in.
there was no one.
No, yeah.
But then when we walked in, everyone was going. There was like it was split down the middle.
People were going to the
the
bar.
So besides that, we're just sitting in the front of the line. There's like a few people ahead of us, and we're like mentioning like people wearing like all these shirts, like oh, that guy's wearing a Deadmau5, that guy's wearing Daft Punk.
Yeah, cool.
And then like all these other
I'm
artists
wearing
were
my
like,
Daft
hey,
Punk
cool.
shirt.
I'm wearing a Deadmau5 shirt, I think I was.
Yeah.
And then we were just like, hey, those guys also are listening to music. Cause
Not
you just
bad.
you could tell the people in the
Cool
front,
dudes.
the guys in the front clearly care more about the artists. There's like the people in the back are just like, I'm just gonna go to this random show.
Yeah,
or
some
whatever.
random show. I'm gonna
But,
go.
like, so we're just
party
sitting there,
whatnot.
and then this guy just comes up and like asks Danny, "Hey, could I borrow your phone?" And it's just some random guy who just
Heavy
like walks
French
up.
accent.
He like literally from France.
Yeah. And he comes up to me, and he tells me that he forgot his phone
At
on
a
a
hotel.
taxi.
Oh, yeah, on a
It was
taxi.
a taxi.
Yeah.
And he wasn't worried about the fact that he just lost his phone, and that let me mention, he's only been in the U.S. for maybe about.
He said for a week.
A week or two.
He said 3 weeks, and he was gonna be leaving soon. Or
Yeah.
something.
And he's here by himself to write a book, and he wasn't worried about the fact that he lost his phone and he's in the U.S. by himself. No, he's worried about the fact that his ticket was on his phone, and he
Yeah.
can't get in the show without that ticket. So I kind of give him props there for being that huge of a Justice fan. But
then he's like, yeah, and then so he just starts standing around with us, and we're talking to him, and he was like, oh yeah, so you guys are here for justice? He's like, I'm surprised there's so many people here. Like, I didn't know that Americans like French house.
And we're like, yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, it's not like Daft Punk is a thing or anything.
Yeah, we were naming off a bunch of artists we like, and it like blew his mind.
Yeah, he was like, Americans like French house. I'm like,
he really liked Mr.
Yeah.
Wazo, I remember,
Yeah.
and Justice. But he was super. So he asked me if he could use my phone to log into his email and pull up his ticket, so we could get in. And I was kind of sketchy about it.
Yeah.
Daniel and
I was
ready to pounce.
I was ready to like chase that man down. Like I moved so that I was like ready to just like grab that man.
The second that he would like
Move.
ever jolt or run away,
I
we would just
snag
chase him
him.
down. Oh my god! Like I remember that very clearly.
Yeah,
like,
I remember. I just saw you like hand him the phone. I was just like,
and I just look at
I'm
you.
just like,
yeah, you put your hands on your side and everything.
Yeah, I
I
was
just
like-
look at you and I'm like telepathically telling you like, be ready.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
yeah, the dude was really weird. But then we keep talking for a while, and then he decides to like stay with us during the show. So we walk in and like go off.
So
to,
yeah, he did just use the phone.
So
for
we
the
ended
ticket.
up.
That
we,
was legit.
We ended up in the very front, like the front of the venue.
We were on the bars.
Yeah,
in the as middle as you could get.
There's two
Yeah.
sides, and for some reason everyone went onto the left side. So by the time we were in there,
That
there
was the
like,
side closest to the door.
It-
So we
yeah.
went on the other side.
So we went on the
walked
other side
around.
because there's already like the people were in front of us in line, and some other people that like just decided to like sprint into the venue, just like got there. So we're just like, we'll just walk over to the right and be in the front.
Yeah, exactly. And what do you know? We were like right there on the rails.
Yeah, it was great.
So,
but then so at one point he asked Danny to get you a drink.
yeah, I mean he actually ended up being like pretty cool.
He's pretty cool. He's just weird and
he
like,
was an interesting guy.
He's very eccentric.
Yeah, he's very
eccentric.
Yeah, he kept flirting with a bunch of girls. He kept trying to make
Yes.
as many friends as possible, but we were like always his main two guys that he was like with at the concert. And then we met Matt.
Oh,
you
yeah,
remember
yeah.
him? The
Yeah,
chicken guy?
Mick Chicken Monkey.
Mick Chicken Monkey. We found out that he plays Hearthstone, and he like gave me his business card. Apparently he does wedding DJ. He's a DJ for weddings. So if anyone is having a wedding and needs a DJ, hit up Mick Chicken Monkey.
I guess Google Mick Chicken Monkey.
Yeah, you will not regret it.
He was a pretty chill guy, and I gave him
and
about.
he sounded pretty desperate.
he
like it sounds like he really hasn't been getting any gigs.
Also, he really wanted new music, so he just gave me a Spotify, and I just kept asking him, "Do you know this person, this person?" So I gave him like 25 different artists he never heard of. I bet he just went home for the next 3 days and was like, just entranced and like.
You changed his life.
Yeah.
What if you actually just changed his life? What if he only liked horrible music before that night, and then
he had some good
Daniel
music,
came
and
along.
then I just gave him all these ambient and house and electro artists, and he's just like, oh my god,
this is amazing.
And do you know what today he is? Do you know who he is today?
A star, the president.
No, he is Kanye West.
It
was Kanye West.
And then
the whole
Matt
time.
turned around, and it was Donald Trump. Since that day, he wanted to be president.
And,
Thanks,
and
Daniel.
he's also 50 years older.
And
he's that minor thing.
Donald Trump is McChicken Mike, confirmed.
McChicken Monkey.
McChicken Monkey. I keep thinking it's Mike, even though his name was Matt.
His name is Matt. Yeah.
But anyway, so we go into the show, and Will is trying to talk with me as much as possible about music and about the show and whatnot, and he couldn't wrap his mind around the fact that I just go to shows to just enjoy the music and hang out. He only goes to shows to party and go crazy and meet as many people as possible, while Daniel and I kind of just go.
We're there for the music.
Yeah, we're there for the music, and that's it. Which is what we assumed is the norm.
I mean, just me and Danny are just sitting there this is good music, and
We're
then we
the
were
plebs.
and then I just go over and I whisper in his ear, I'm like, hey, this is good.
Yeah. This is
or whatever.
Pretty good.
We're just
and I'm like, yeah, my dude.
Yes, my dude.
Yes, my dude. And
I mean, we're just sitting
show.
there and wow, this is amazing. And then sometimes we do stupid dancing or whatever.
Yeah, let's not get into that part. Anyway, so Will buys me a drink, and he was really cool. And then the show starts, and he bought me another one. I'm like, all right, cool. Bud Light, free Bud Light. And he ended up being he had some weird moments. He got really excited, and I mean really excited when Justice came on. He was screaming at the top of his lungs. He was jumping all over me. Oh my, I did not expect that. I knew he liked the band because we were talking about them before, but wow.
That's my impression of what he sounds like.
Is that Will?
That's what he sounds like.
Yeah, that was Will.
That's what French people sound like, or something.
Or something like that. Yeah, we met Matt, and then the show ended, and we couldn't. He just disappeared, right?
Yeah, no, he disappeared at one point. Oh yeah, no. So after sometime during Justice, he just disappeared, and then so once Justice finished, it was 3 a.m. Yeah, it was
maybe 2 or 3, but
it was 3 a.m. So then we start.
It was a long,
everyone just
good
starts
show.
to go because
they didn't come on until 1 in the morning. Let's throw that out there.
Yeah, they came on last, and then the guys who were the very first people to open up the show, which were some guys called Love Thy Brother.
Oh yeah, that was the name.
And then they come on after to just keep the party going or whatever.
And then right after that was Hot Chip.
No. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, besides, I'm talking about the ending of the show. So Justice goes on, and then these guys come on to wrap it up. But basically, almost everyone leaves, of course, because that's what happens.
Oh yeah.
But so it's 3 a.m. We're just walking back, and we're halfway back to walking to where we're parked, and we just see Will.
We just run into him, complete coincidence, where we walk out of the venue.
Yeah, and
he's right there.
2,000 people walking out of this venue plus or whatever.
But he's the only one just standing by himself in this far out corner. He wasn't looking for us. I think he was just. What was he doing? No,
I don't know. We just
he
saw
was
him.
smoking a cigarette. That was it.
We just saw him.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because I remember constantly during the show he kept getting aggravated that what do you mean you can't smoke in here? You can smoke all the time in French concerts. And I'm like, sorry man, you can't do it. And people smoke other stuff, but you gotta get away with it. And so I think the second the show ended, he just bolted for the exit to smoke a pack. And we run into him, and he was really paranoid for some reason when we found him. He was just.
He was weird.
Yeah, he's an interesting dude. And then we were walking with him back to the street, and we reach a point where there's a 3-way in the road, and we got to go one way, and he has to go another. He's just all right, bye.
Yeah.
And walks away. I'm like. What? We just spent the whole night with you, man, and I got his email, but he never responded to me.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was just some random email.
Yeah.
But Who knows if he got his phone back? Who knows if he's back in his homeland? I don't know, man.
What if he is just like in like China or something?
Legend says he's still outside of the venue,
Yeah.
smoking that cigarette,
Legend-
waiting for us to return.
Legend says he's still walking the streets of New York City. And if you go out at 4 a.m. on a Sunday, you
On
might
a
see him.
Sunday, on every December 30th.
Every December 30th, if you're out there at 3 a.m., you can still hear him say, "French house,
save me,
French house."
Mr. Wasso. By the way, if Justice does another New Year's Eve show
We're going,
again,
we're going.
we are going.
That
was amazing.
That was really awesome.
Yeah.
Also, just as long as there's no crystal castles.
We talked about Crystal Castles. That was your least favorite show. Yeah, long story short, Crystal Castles opened up for Justice, and they had a
Yeah, they were
24-pack of water bottles on the
just
show.
kept opening it. She poured it on herself.
Put it on herself.
Oh yeah, so I mean,
shot
so
it
it was
in the
Love Thy
audience.
Brother, and then Hot Chip,
Hot Chip.
which is just one of the guys who was just doing a DJing. He actually played a lot of good songs.
Oh, he
and
was
then,
awesome.
And then Crystal Castles come on, and then they just had all this water, and then it was like it's just like goth, like electro group.
Yeah,
and
something
then
like
like
that.
she just keeps opening up water bottles, like pouring and stuff. And then at one point she just starts throwing in the crowd, and I'm in the very front. We're in the very front. I'm in, like
We're
I'm
getting soaked.
I'm on the corner of the front, like the
And it's
rectangle.
cold.
Yeah, like so this.
It's December.
Yeah,
We're
this-
cold.
Yeah, so she just keeps throwing water on my like into the crowd. I'm right there, so I'm just thinking like, could you not?
Yeah.
I just started
please
looking at
don't.
her and just like I was just like shaking my head. I'm like no.
You, me, Will, and Matt, we're just like
It was
not happy
I was
at all.
Yeah, just throwing water in the crowd. I was like, what is this
Mhm.
supposed to be?
Also, if anyone's friends with me on Facebook, you've probably seen the photo of me in that big blue room wearing that like police sailor
Yeah.
hat or whatever. That's at that show.
And also, if
that's
you've
like one of my favorite pictures of me, honestly.
Also, if you've seen my profile picture on Facebook, it's from that.
Is that the one where we're both in it?
Yeah, but
the red
red-faced,
one. Yeah,
yeah.
the red face. If you go under Daniel's Facebook, yeah, that's his profile picture.
Yeah.
We got a lot of good pictures from that night, just because there were so many colors. Like we just.
I mean, I wouldn't be
take pictures
surprised
of
if
us in
tomorrow we
selfies.
get a good picture.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, true.
We're gonna be super happy tomorrow.
We got to do it.
Yeah.
I might cry. I'm not ready, honestly. The Beatles are my favorite band, and I'm gonna go see my favorite Beatle. Like, it's still
Who
so
likes John
surreal.
Lennon? Am I right?
Amen, brother.
My favorite Beatle is Yoko Ono.
They don't call him Ringo Starr for nothing. What? You're Ringo Starr.
You're Ringo Starr.
I'm Paul McCartney. Lame. Oh man. Well, I think we've done enough talking. Let's let the music play a little bit. I'm gonna let this play out. This is Penelope Pit Stop by Breakbot. Enjoy the music, guys.
Me sinto feliz. Me sinto completamente. Me sinto completamente contente. Posso dizer completamente contente. 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 Me sinto completamente contente. Posso dizer completamente contente.
Hey, this is Jeff Scott Soto from the band Soto, and you are listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Turn this up and keep it up.
Hey WMSC listeners, this is entertainment correspondent Julia Siegel coming to you from the Montclair Film Festival. Today I'm sitting down with director Oren Moverman to discuss his new film, The Dinner. So you've been pretty busy lately with a couple movies. You produced both The Ticket and Norman, and now you're directing The Dinner. So how are you balancing your time with so many projects right now?
I'm completely off balance. I'm not balancing it. No, I've been very lucky. I've started producing a couple of years ago, and got involved in projects basically that were directed by friends, and so I get to work with my friends. So I sort of spread myself thin, but it's with great rewards as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, definitely. And I saw that this film actually did premiere at the Tribeca Film Festival a few days ago. Yeah. How did that go? How was the audience reception?
It was great, actually. Yeah, it was. It was our second time we showed it in that kind of event. We world premiered in Berlin, and then brought it here and showed it in Tribeca, and people were really getting it. I would say between us and whoever's listening, a little bit more than Berlin. There's humor in it that the audience was really getting into, and then it gets pretty serious and dark, and it's kind of a ride. It's a ride you can resist and kind of be suffering through, or it's a ride that you can accept and go through something I think quite unusual but interesting, based on a very kind of intriguing book.
That's good. And what do you think the audience today here in Montclair is going to take out of this film?
I'm not sure. It's really, I've been to Montclair before. We've had good audiences. This is a very provocative film. So when you do something provocative, you can expect some people to be very angry and some people to be very happy and anything in between. So I have no expectations. As long as they don't try to physically hurt me, I'll be okay.
And if you could describe The Dinner in your own words to someone who has no idea what it's about, how would you describe it?
I would say it's a movie that takes place in a restaurant, an absurd restaurant. Two brothers, played by Richard Gere and Steve Coogan, are getting together with their wives to talk about something their sons did, their teenage sons did, a crime they committed and got away with. And then the big dilemma is, what do you do about it? Do you turn them in? Do you ignore it? Do you pretend it never happened? So it's kind of a long argument that takes a while to get going, but it's also showing the night of the incident, what the boys did. It's also showing family history. So it's quite a layered movie, and it's an assault on the senses in a way.
It sounds great. I can't wait to see it in a little bit. And after this, what's next?
Not sure. Producing some more, writing. Hopefully there won't be a writer's strike, so maybe a new movie to direct in a couple of months.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
The Dinner hits theaters on May 5th. For WMSC, this is Julia Siegel.
Hey Montclair, I'm Melissa Cheeseman, host of Out of Sound, Out of Mind. If alternative and indie music is your vibe, look no further. My show's the one for you. Check it out Thursdays, 4 to 7 here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair.
You walk on the subway, You walk on the subway, moves around. You walk on the subway, moves around. Close
future love. I'll always be there for you, my future love.
All right, that about wraps it up for us at Oddball Frequency. I'm Danny Connors, and I'm with Daniel. And next week, we're going to have our first ever guest.
Kodomo.
It's going to be really cool. Yeah, Kodomo from Brooklyn, New York.
Yep.
Would you like to give a little synopsis on him?
No, it's not even just a Skype. He's going to be in studio.
He'll be
which is gonna
in
be
the
really
studio.
Cool.
Yeah,
So,
we're planning to have a lot of guests over the next month, but only like 2 of them are going to be actually in the studio.
Yeah.
So this is exciting. Do you want to give a little bio on him?
So, Kodomo is he's an electronic musician, of course. He mainly does like ambient, trip hop type stuff. So, I mean, he's been active since like the early 2000s. He mainly
I think 2006.
I think it's 2001 was technically like his first thing ever.
Yeah.
He originally started off by doing like remixes, and also he worked for if anyone knows the Harmonix, the guys who did Rock Band. They did a few games back like early on. He worked on a lot of that and like some like iPhone games and whatnot. Oh no, sorry, iPod game.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's old.
Yeah.
But his first album came out in 2008, Still Life, which is
and also some of his earliest work was a Freeze Pop remixes,
that's what I
right?
said. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. In like 2000,
we're
like
also
the
trying
really
to get on
early
the
stuff
show.
was Freeze Pop. He did a bunch of remixes stuff for them.
Mhm.
So
and they'll be on the show October 11th.
Yeah. But his first album was in 2008, which is Still Life, which is one of my top albums of all time.
Mhm.
And then in 2011 he put out Frozen Emotion, and then in 2014 Patterns in Light.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he recently put out this year his new EP Divider. So you guys should check out his new EP and also just his discography if you're gonna tune in next week. I'm
Okay.
really, really excited.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be talking about more of his newer projects and his, future projects. But, if you're a fan of his music, please tune in.
Yeah.
He's going to be here. I actually tried to look up some interviews of him. I can't find any on YouTube. So this may be his first public interview. Because I'm going to record it and I'm going to put it up.
We're gonna put it up on the SoundCloud and other places. So
Probably YouTube, and I'll link it to him. He may want to post it.
Yeah, I'm really excited. He's one of my favorite
Me too.
artists.
I've been talking with him. He seems like a really, really nice guy.
I mean, yeah, and like seriously, like you really should listen to his music. If you, even if you don't like ambient music, he's one of those artists that like transcends a genre where like a lot of people just tend to like it. Like you just listen, like, hey, that sounds pretty good. Like,
Next.
Next. All right. Well, I guess we're gonna sign off as you listen to some Deadmau5.
All right, oddballers. Yeah, that's what you guys are now.
Yeah,
Oddballers.
All the oddballers were signing out.
Can I get a hey yeah from my oddballers? All right.
Hey yeah.
Kill us. All right, we're gonna let Deadmau5 play out and enjoy your nights. Take it easy, guys.
Bye.